Hello, my name is Justin Bright, and welcome to Kerbal Space Program version 1.3, in which I am attempting to make Kerbals a multiplanetary species. Well, it has been a while, hasn't it? Oh my goodness. So I have been just incredibly busy. While I tell you a little bit about that, let's get moving over to build the Red Sands Refinery base, which apparently is finished now. So I will click launch, and that will get going. So the Red Sands Refinery base is exactly what it sounds like. It's used to process intermediate resources. So I have been incredibly busy. I moved my apartment. I got a new job at Google. The greatest thing is one of the people that actually watched these videos emailed me at Google because he works at Google and also watches. So that was awesome. So I have been busy with that for the last month, kind of going crazy dealing with all those things. And I'm back. I mean, I want to say I'm back and I'm ready to just really start cranking away on making videos, but things have just been so crazy lately, and I feel like I've said that in like my last 3 videos. I've tried to say, okay, I'm back, and now we're going to really start cranking away on making content all the time, and then it doesn't actually happen because I've just been so darn busy. So, tentatively, I will say, I am back. I have returned. I am here to make more videos and do things and keep this moving forward as we move on to episode 100 of this series. I should figure out something special to do for that. I don't really know what I would do, but I'll give it some thought. So we are back. I have still not updated anything because I am afraid at this point of my install just exploding into tiny, tiny pieces if I were to try to make any actual upgrades to my install. If I were to upgrade to 1.31 or do any of those things, I'm just very concerned that nothing would work correctly and it would all explode and be terrible, and we don't want that. Because we're far enough now that it would be a pretty tremendous loss if I were to have, if we are to lose anything, it would be really bad at this point. Okay, so we have this built. Let's jump over back to the Geo Rover and see how we're kind of doing here. We still have 30,000 material kits, which is going to be good. We're going to need that probably for doing some additional building of things, because this has a whole bunch of inflatables, I think. Let's kind of scan and look around here. So, okay, so this one, this is our refinery base. And you'll notice it has these gigantic material processing units that are each going to take thousands of machinery, and they are going to be used LFO. They should not all be on LFO, so that's something that got switched in the that got lost in translation, we'll say. But the general idea is these are going to be used as efficiency parts to increase the ability. Oh, there we go. Now it's finally kind of calmed down a little bit. This is going to be used to increase the efficiency of the recycling module. I'm not sure if that actually helps anything with the recycling module, but the industrial refinery for sure. All of these are going to increase the efficiency of the industrial refinery so that we're able to crank out a whole bunch of metals, polymers, and chemicals. So from what I understand of the way these things work is ton for ton, it's the same level of efficiency using a whole bunch of efficiency parts to crank up one thing's power, as opposed to having the same amount of mass of individual processors. That is my understanding of it anyways. So we are going to now jump over to the Caribou Supply Crawler, where Frandy Kerman is going to take a little drive over to this, jump in, and start powering things up. We should also have the material kits and the specialized parts and everything else that we need to get all of the base bits expanded. And while I run around the outside of the base, we can talk about what all the individual parts are. Alright, so we can at least start deploying our inflatable storage modules, which all look like they've retained what they needed. So chemicals, polymers, metals, metallic ore, etc., etc., etc. Those have not changed, which is good. But these are actually going to be... these are necessary for them to process all of the different materials that are going to be in use on this vessel. Because this is going to be running through the majority of different, like it's going to have a lot of things going through it, if that makes sense. So it's going to need to have that connection to that storage space and that local logistics to take in everything and then spit it right back out. So let's go ahead and deploy this, and lights on. Deploy. Did I put any of the lights on here? I did. Deploy. Said deploy. Lights on. Lights on. There we go. Now we got some lights, so now we can run around the outside and talk about this vessel a little bit. Where is Frandy? Okay, so this is pretty basic construction. These are just multi-hubs that are used to as structure for the base, and then this is just a little TIE fighter cockpit that is going to let us take a look at the mountains and the poles in the background and keep an eye on the other base and the flag that is set down there. All very nice. Not particularly useful, but this is obviously going to be something that's used for increasing the amount of habitability that this base has, because each base I have set up to be able to maintain people for a decent amount of time. So, because I'm not 100% sure how that works, and I think that everybody needs to kind of be in the same place. Not in the same place. Everybody needs to be able to have their own habitation stuff. So, each base, I think, is going to have to sustain Kerbals, even though I do definitely have a place that is going to be a little bit more central. Alright, so we're performing routine maintenance on the individual bits here, turning on radiators, that sort of thing. I'm not 100% sure if performing maintenance we're doing to get the machinery in, which we should have machinery, I hope. I get a little closer. Perform maintenance. There we go. So we've done maintenance on these things, so hopefully those should all be ready to roll. We also are going to need to change the configuration on these so that they are crushers. Is that right? Smelters. Yes, smelters. So we're going to want smelters, and that costs a little bit. Oh, we're missing the specialized parts. Do I not have specialized parts on here? No, it's right here. Why won't you use these? Okay, maybe I need to actually drive a little bit closer yet. Alright, so we are driving now such that I can put the center of this thing's mass near the center of this one. I shouldn't need to be this close, but, you know, hope maybe this will help. I don't know. So let's go ahead and stop that, and we are going to give this one more shot. And I'm hoping that it's able to grab the specialized parts from nearby instead of making me... Darn it. Okay. Let's see if I can local logistics this in. Okay, so I've changed this to specialized parts because it doesn't look like there was any storage. So we're going to try again to see if now maybe I can local logistics in some specialized parts. I am sincerely hoping. Yes, here we go. Okay, so now I can move in specialized parts. Great. Now, hopefully, I will be able to make these changes because I need to be able to change each of these to smelters, which is the thing that they are, which is the correct efficiency part for what we're trying to do. So that seems to be working. I'm just knocking these out one at a time. I will be right back with that finished. And I'm out of specialized parts. I'm not sure why I'm surprised. but I think I have some more, so hopefully... Nope, I am fresh out. Oh, the GeoRover has some, so we can move from there. Okay, and that's as much as we have in this area, so it doesn't look like we are actually going to have enough, so I may need to make a separate trip just to get this done. Okay, so here's all the specialized parts. There's 2,000 of them over here, gosh darn it. Okay, so I'm going to have to figure out how to transfer this slowly in between, because I can't do it by local logistics. Gosh darn it. Okay, so I don't have enough specialized parts, but I will go get that in a moment. But for now, let's go ahead and just get everything else rolling. So, we have drills, metallic ore, exotic minerals, and rare metals. That's good. That looks like what it's supposed to be. Metallic ore, hydrates. Yep. Seems good to me. Okay. So yeah, this is meant to do most of the processing and also some of the digging of resources, as I recall. And we are just about finished with all of our deploying of stuff. Why are you going backwards? I guess I rotated the camera a little too far. Okay, so now we have a HAB common also over here, so we can deploy that using 8,000 material kits. Very, very nice. And we are going to run out on the outside of this before I deploy it. I said we are going to run on the outside of this. Just bumping into things. Very slowly waddling our way. And then this is a HAB quarters. So this is, as I said, every base facility is going to need to have the ability to sustain life. And so it goes with this as well. I forgot ladders, that's pretty cool. But we can jump up, grab on, and jump into the facility. And now we have someone on board to activate all of the stuff and the things. So this draws power, once again, from the network, just like the other things. This has power coupler 4 PDUs. We're drawing power from the big nuclear facility. Fantastic. We have some machinery, so this thing is all set up and ready to go. That's fantastic. And this one should be as well. Looks like the recyclers are able to run, and it's eating up electric charge, but you can see that it's using up these recyclables and drawing from the electric charge, but once it gets down to a certain point, it actually jumps right back up. Pop, there it goes. And that's because it does not, Rover Dude did not draw his, did not create his network in a way that was going to be super duper laggy, you see. It's, it only occasionally pulls, like every so often it will check and see, hey, do I need resources to pull in? And if it does, then it does. But if it doesn't, in the meantime, it just waits. And it just waits and then until it's time for it to check again. Which is great when you're dealing with such, you know, naturally laggy parts. Or not naturally laggy. If you're doing things that have a lot of different conversions and are doing a lot of calculations and so forth and are checking on each other and all those things. So we also have another recycler here. We can do that, 100% load. So this is going to make this very cheap as far as resource cost. So what I think I'm going to do, let's take a look. We have, we can start this smelter, missing machinery. I need to actually get in and do the, what do you call it? Start smelter. I need to go in and work on maintaining all of these things real quick. This is start habitat. Nope, start habitat, that's fine. This is just storage facility. This is the the Pioneer Logistics module, and this is something that I have transferred into specialized parts because nothing else seemed to be able to hold it. We have a thermal control here, which is on. Thermal control here, which is on. These are there to contain chemicals because they require liquid tanks. This is for metals, polymers, and polymers. So we have 2 tanks for each of the different types of intermediate resources on top of the big material processing units. In the middle here, we have the big recycling module, which should turn recyclables into parts, I think. Like, yeah, I have a little bit of metals, polymers, and chemicals that were created from this recycling module, which is nice. And then the industrial refinery, which is going to create stuff, you know, once we actually have stuff to create. So I can actually start these, and they should pull once I have stuff. So right now, nothing is happening, as you can see. So we can just stop that so it's not lagging me or anything like that. It's not checking. But let's also make sure the ground tether is attached. Fantastic. And there we go. Back on this side, I can start habitation. Missing machinery. Yep, needs to be maintained. And start hab quarters. Missing machinery needs to be maintained. But other than that, this is just a big battery and the airlock. Yep, so that should be fine. And so what I was saying is this, once I have the raw resources coming into my base facilities, it should be able to draw it through local logistics, probably using this rover, like automatically, detecting that rover's there and then using it to transfer resources once it is available. And that is what the plan is that this is going to be pulling in those resources, spitting out the intermediate materials, and perform maintenance, beautiful. And that is how this is going to be producing all of these materials that we need to make material kits and so forth. Let's just land, and then what is in your pockets that is so darn heavy? Just this one little wrench. It's very hard to fly around on Duna. But yeah, so that's what the general plan is for this base. Is I just need to get these all topped up. Everything needs to be maintained. Everything needs to have, and then be switched over so that they can actually be used. So I think I maintained these, didn't I? Well, now I've done it again, so that's fine. Yeah, so I'm just going to get that all set up, and then we can move on. All right, so a little bit later, we have finally got everything all set up, I do believe. So it looks like these are on. Our habitation units are under load. They are giving this Frandy Kerman an indefinite amount of home because he has a gigantic place to romp around in. Or she does, pardon me. Yeah, so that's working. Looks like our industrial refinery is not yet, but everything else is all set up. We have our 3 massive smelters all set up and ready to roll. Let's see, this is going to dig up metallic ore and hydrates. So why don't I actually start digging up? And also metallic ore, exotic minerals, and rare metals. So I can start my metallic ore drills and actually start making metals. Not that I necessarily need to be making that right this very minute, but start the drill. 11.43% load and slightly rising as the core temperature rises up to increase the thermal efficiency. And we have big radiators on these, the thermal control system, so hopefully that should all work without bothering me too much. Let's also start mining metallic ore. Why not get rare metals and exotic minerals? Get everything started. Start actually producing stuff. And hydrates too, because why not? 337% load. Wowzers. Okay. Well, that's 2, so that actually just makes sense. Yeah, so we're up to 500 Kelvin temperature, which is the optimal thermal efficiency, so we are producing at a massive 0.18 metallic ore per second, which is very, very nice. And over here we are producing 0.18 and then 0.15 for the rare metals and 0.18 again for the exotic minerals. So we are producing stuff. Huzzah! And look at that, it's actually coming in really rather quickly. So let's see how we did. Oh dear, oh wow, yeah, look at that. It's just draining the electric charge rapidly and then charging rapidly. And thump, as it brings power in from the PDU. Pretty cool stuff. So that all is being set and settled and ready to rock. Let's start making metals. There we go. 168, 1900% load approximately. which drains my electric charge even faster. I hope that the PDU can actually catch... oh dear, no, it can't. It can't keep up. Interesting. Yeah, I wonder if I need like more than one power transceiver? Is there like a... I didn't actually anticipate that, but is there actually a maximum amount of power that can, like, maximum throughput for this? Or... Huh. Damn. That actually kind of sucks a lot. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do about that, but I guess we'll have to figure something else out. But we are still able to produce at least a little bit of metals. We just need to work on our power connectivity to make sure that everything is working the way that it needs to be working. But right now, we are pumping metallic ore into metals, and we are beginning to see metals pour into our warehouses, which will allow us to build material kits at some point eventually. But we will figure out some of that stuff. So yeah, like I was saying, I'm back mostly. Hopefully I'll be back a little bit more. This will be a bit of a shorter episode. I'm very sorry about that, but I am just very busy lately. Just like I said, started my new job, just working that this week, and yeah, all these other lovely life changes that are happening kind of in a row. When it rains it pours, or so they say. So I will have to leave it off there for now, and we will get back to this once I've figured out the power situation, perhaps. If you enjoyed this episode, please share and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.